Lessons from a screenwriter, also known as my brother. I'm going to tell you all about that. Welcome to those of you who are watching today. It is Wednesday, June 7th. I'm not sure if anyone's going to show up live today. My energy level is in the pits today because I got home super late, and I'm going to tell you all about that. And it inspired today's broadcast around lessons from a screenwriter. Listen to me, I can barely speak. AKA my brother. If you are here live, Be Live is working today well, I think. So, Melissa, you made it. Awesome. If you are here, please say hello, because I can see your hellos hop on, but I can't, I don't see when you come on live. And thank you, as always, for the likes and the loves and the shares. My aim and my mission is for these ideas to reach as many people as possible, because I think they are game changers. And if you are willing to, hi Christine, if you are willing to work these thought experiments into your daily life, I personally have experienced profound change. My clients have experienced profound change as a result of really implementing some of these things and not just letting them live in these videos. So one of the first questions I have today, if you're watching, because the notes I have for today are pretty short, is I would love to know if you want to share in the comments. Oh, shoot. It isn't working as well as before. I can't see your comments. Be Live is letting me down. I'm going to work on it. Is to let me know if you have any questions or insights that have come up as a result of the videos over the past week. So we've talked a lot about microaction. We talked a lot about the waves and the thermal vent thinking. We talked about this thing that's between our circumstances in our lives and the emotions we experience. I know a few of you listened to that podcast that I shared on the page. And if you haven't hunted down, it's Invisibilia. Their episode on emotions is very, very insightful. And I would just, if there's anything that's been marinating or anything that's come up for you as a result of those, please leave it in the comments here, because I'd love to just respond to those in time. This isn't just a single themed focused conversation. And so I'm happy to answer questions if they've come up, or just thoughts, and find out what's going on for you. So I just want to tell you guys about my night last night and really what I have learned from it. Hi, Karen. So my brother is a screenwriter. My brother is a screenwriter on The Mummy, which is a film that's opening up this week. And last night was the premiere. It was in Manhattan, and I had the chance to go down with my husband and join my brother and his wife and his team and go to the premiere screening of it. And it was really awesome. The most special part of it was just watching him get to enjoy that. And I realized that what I wanted to share with you this morning are lessons that I've learned from him and watching how he works over the past many, many years that he has been working at his craft and refining it. Because I think there's something very universal in what he's demonstrated in his work. And I just wanted to share some of those thoughts with you, and because that's what's on my mind this morning. The first thing, and if you want to write these down if they'll help, is, hi Gail, the first thing to note, and that he really embodied, was persistence. He has been working on various projects for years. Like, there's always something going on. And even when it feels like nothing's going on, there's something going on. And he sticks with it, and he does what he loves. That's something that I've noticed too, is that even if there isn't like a potential job in anything, he's always making time for his craft. And this was something that we talked about the other day. And so I just want to reinforce and to remind you, like, make sure no matter what you're doing, no matter how much success or lack of success you think you're experiencing, make sure that you're prioritizing your craft and doing your craft. Whether anyone sees it or not, whether anyone acknowledges it or notices it or not, keep and prioritize time for your craft, the thing that you love the most, the thing that lights you up. Okay, so that's one of the first things. The second thing, and this, a lot of times I'll share that and someone will say, well, I don't know what my thing is. And that's when I kind of like to dive in and say, well, what gives you energy? What are some things that you can do? And time just passes. How do you most love helping people? I think we get into these channels of thinking that it has to be professional. Like, well, I don't know what I want to be paid for. And that's not it. Just what are the things that light you up? And one of the things I've learned from my brother too, watching him work, is to diversify. That there's always little things going on. And the way that he puts it is always have lots of pots on the stove. I remember he said that to me years ago, just talking about work, like, always have lots of pots on the stove. And they're all kind of bubbling, right? And every so often, one of those pots will boil over. And that's a project. That's something to spend more time on. But don't ever let, he's always doing different kinds of things. He's working on this project, or maybe he's working on directing a music video, which he did recently, or maybe he's working on his own music, which he plays and records, or maybe he's working on his own script, or he's doing his own project, or teaming up with friends and directing a film. Like, there's always lots of little things happening. And I think his commitment to that, just to maintaining that constant little, like, oh, there's this and that and this and that and this and that, and just trusting and knowing that you just got to keep those on long enough, and eventually one's going to boil over and it's going to lead you in a different direction. So I like the diversity, and I sometimes shy away from that because I'm like, I got to pick one thing, or I got to just stay in one lane. And I get that, and I think there's importance in that too, because the next thing that I wrote down was focus. So there is that focus on things, but not to be afraid of almost taking that core of who you are and being willing to apply it to different kinds of projects just to see what boils over. So the third thing that I wrote down was focus. When he's got a project and he's got something that he's got to do, he can shut down. Like, he can shut down and just focus and get it done. And I've seen him work, and he just gets into it. And I very much admire that. And it's something in myself that I try and work on, because I can very much be like talking about this, but then thinking about something else, or trying to multitask and not refining and practicing that skill of focus. And it is a practice. All of these things take practice. They're simple, but they're not easy. And there has to be that commitment to shut things down and deal with our kind of impulses to turn away from the thing that we're trying to work on. But I think that focus is such an important lesson that I've learned from watching him. And the final thing that I just took away, and especially just seeing last night and knowing his story, is the power of relationships, and of talking with people and connecting with people, even if it's just to share ideas, not with this intention of like, well, we need to get something, there needs to be a result, but just to converse and to find out and to inquire and to talk with others and to share ideas. So if you have an idea and you don't know what's going to happen with it and you don't know what to do with it, it's not a bad thing to find someone else who's doing an idea and say, hey, can I just tell you my idea? Or can we just talk about our ideas for a little bit? And to get your idea out into the world to the people in your circle, and to kind of imagine it's like you're a spider weaving a web. And a spider can just stay in the middle and not do anything and not take any action, but then there's never any growth. It's just kind of static. But if you're just every so often, if you've ever seen a spider work, it's cool. It's like they go back and then forth and then they go out, right? And it's just these little tiny things that over time create this network. And I guess I don't want you to think that there's only value in those things if like something comes of it, that there's value in just maintaining relationships and reaching out to people, being willing to hear no. That's another thing yesterday. I was hanging out with this guy yesterday, and he was just saying, you know what, I have no problem hearing no. I love hearing no. And I love that attitude about him. I said, that's such an important quality, is just the willingness to hear no a lot. And I'm curious for you, like, if you're comfortable hearing no. So those are some of the things that I took away. And I wanted to note here and to share with you. I'm curious if any one of those is one that you're like, ooh, that's one that I could kind of work into the system and see how it would apply. Karen shared simple but not easy. Can you guys see that? I can see it, but I don't think you can see it. I'm not sure, but Karen shared simple but not easy. And that's very much the work. I mean, my work is very simple. Like it seems, it's so clear to me when I'm talking with someone, but then it's not easy. So Melissa asked, can you guys see what Melissa asked? Is anyone willing to share? But I'll let you know. Melissa says, how can I, okay, cool. You guys can see it. Thank you. Melissa says, how can I get comfortable hearing no? I hate that. Well, Melissa, I'm curious, like, if you have an answer to that. I know what my answer is, but I'm curious if you know what the answer is. How do you get comfortable hearing no? And if it would help with a metaphor, how can you get comfortable jumping off a diving board? How does a kid get comfortable jumping off a diving board? How does a 15, 16-year-old get comfortable driving? You see where I'm going with this? How do we get comfortable rock climbing, Melissa? Right? Like, I'm waiting to see if you have an answer for me. What's your answer? Well, I'm waiting on Melissa's answer. I just want to let you guys know that this Friday, I don't know if I'm going to be doing videos Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I might try and hop on. We'll see. But Friday, I leave for the first ever campfire coaching events. It's going to be awesome. I invite all of you to take a look at campfire-coaching.com if you think you can attend in August. If you can, that would be amazing. Follow along because I'll be sharing. I'll be on Instagram too, just sharing pictures. I haven't shared many because I want to keep everything a surprise. But so that's something to keep your eyes peeled for. And another thing is if you want daily updates about what time I'm going live, because I know I'm changing the times, you can click on this link and I'll put it in the comments too, just so it exists there. There we go. Click on that link, and I just posted it in the comments, and it will automatically kind of just put you on the list to get the daily notifications that I send out, letting you know what time. They're short. They're just like, hi, I'm going to be live today at this time, and you can click here for a reminder. So if you would like that, click on that m.me/Allegra Stein coaching link, and that'll be happen automatically for you. So Melissa shared, you get comfortable by doing it. You're making me laugh. You can get comfortable by doing it. I wish there was a simple answer, Melissa. I wish I could say, oh, you just sit there and think about it, and then you'll get comfortable hearing no. But the way to get comfortable to do anything is to do it. And that's where the edge is. And if you watched yesterday's, I think it was yesterday's, and that comfort zone is, how willing are you to do it? Like, how willing are you to be uncomfortable? And that's where it gets really interesting to ask yourself, what's the scariest thing you've ever done? What's the scariest thing you've ever done? What's the hardest thing you've ever done? And does getting a no match that? And really look at that barometer, not barometer, that scale you have in your head. Like, well, no, I've done hard before, and this doesn't measure up. Is a good way of just kind of psyching yourself out. Like, I can do this. I can hear no. I can hear no. And I know you took a big step earlier this week, and I know you have it in you to hear no. And if we can reframe that, like, consider me your no cheerleader. Tell me how many no's you've heard, and I'm going to give you that many rounds of applause. Because if you're hearing no, it means you're asking, you're taking action, you're requesting things. And the more comfortable you can be, the more willing you are to ask, the more bold that you can be, the more your confidence is going to build, the more your enthusiasm and motivation are going to build. Not before you do those things, but as a result of doing those things. And the more interesting things you're going to find out. Because sometimes one of those asks, someone's going to say yes. And you're like, oh, okay, so now I'm going to go down this path and try that out. That's what life is that willingness to get out there. And part of that is making requests and very likely hearing no a bunch of times. Karen shared, I have a good resource to watch and see someone else getting comfortable hearing no. Oh, that'd be awesome. I know there's a website out there. It's called, I think it started as the Rejection Experiment. And it was about this guy who really wanted to practice being rejected. So he put himself in situations where it was, he would stand in a parking lot, I think, and just ask people if, I don't know, coming out of Target, like, can I have $10 or something? Like he synthesized it. Karen's shared a massive link somewhere. I'll post it up. Sorry for the massive link. I don't know if I've seen it. Is it up there? Oh, so that's it. Okay. I didn't see a link come through, Karen, but maybe it's in the comments and I just haven't seen it. But, uh, he just almost synthesized these kind of situations where he had to push his edge and just experience hearing no a lot. And it almost desensitized him to the point where like, well, that doesn't bother me anymore. I can hear no all day. And then he started to apply those skills on things that were really relevant and important in his life and a path that he wanted to carve and make for himself. So Melissa, I'd be curious what comes up for you at this. Like, is there an experiment? And this is great. Maybe tomorrow will be about an experiment. There's the link that Karen shared. It's a TED Talk. You can find that in the comments of the show. Thanks, Karen. Experiments. All right, cool. All right, any other thoughts or ideas that have come up? Any other questions? Any other notes? Anything you're feeling edgy about? I hope these lessons that I learned from watching my brother be so totally awesome have resonated with you a little bit. And please share those in the comments. If there's someone that you know who's working on a big project and they're like feeling a bit stuck, feel free to share this with them. You can send it by like direct messenger to people, because again, I want these to reach as many as they can, because I just think that they're really valuable, and I'm so glad you're here to share them with me. Melissa, thanks. Yeah, it was a fun night. It was really fun. I feel so tired. I don't know if you can see it, but I feel like my eyes have lead weights on them. And yeah, I will be back tomorrow. I'm not exactly sure what time, but if you want to know what time tomorrow when I post it, I post it on the page. So if you're following along, you'll see it there and you can click the reminder. But if you want just the morning of, I send off a quick note, click that link that I posted in the comments below. Maybe I'll go back and pin it so it's at the top. But that will just sign you up to get those notifications. I think when you click it, you just have to click like one more little button, but you get that through your messenger, which is just super duper convenient and easy. So, okay. You're all great. Thanks for being here live, guys. And I will be back tomorrow. Talk to you later. I'm so tired. Oh my God. Okay, talk to you later.